All right, let's talk about Ondas Holdings. What a wild ride their stock has been on lately. We're going to dig into the head-spinning story of how this company's stock went on a complete roller coaster in just a matter of days.
So, have you ever seen a stock just tank one day and then shoot for the moon the very next? It's the kind of thing that can confuse even the most experienced traders. Well, that's exactly what happened with Ondas, and we're going to break down precisely what caused such a dramatic swing.
And wow, look at this. It's a tale of two completely different days. On Tuesday, the stock takes a little hit, slips about 1.3%. Fast forward just one trading day to Thursday, and bam, it explodes, surging by over 14%. So what on earth happened? To get it, you have to understand the two very different stories Wall Street was hearing. Okay, so first, let's tackle the dip. Before that huge surge, there was a drop, and it was all caused by some, pretty standard but always a little scary financial paperwork.
The culprit? It was something called a prospectus supplement. Yeah, I know, it sounds super technical. But here's the bottom line, the thing you really need to know. It's basically a legal heads up that a company is getting ready to allow some of its stockholders to sell their shares on the open market.
And we are not talking about a handful of shares here. The filing registered nearly 2.4 million shares for potential resale. When a number that big pops up, you better believe it gets investors' attention. Red flags start waving everywhere. So this one piece of paper kicked up three major fears. First, you've got basic supply and demand, right? If a flood of new shares potentially hits the market, that could push the price down. Simple as that. Second, it makes you wonder, are the big players, the major investors, losing faith and cashing out? And finally, the timing just felt off. It came right before a huge investor update, which just created this perfect storm of negativity. But just when everyone was bracing for the worst, the entire story just flipped on its head. Ondas dropped some news that didn't just calm the fears. It absolutely blew them out of the water. Right as the market was chewing on that worrisome filing, the company dropped an absolute bombshell. And here it is. The company's subsidiary, Aerobotics, got selected by Israel's Ministry of Defense for a high-profile border security initiative called the Drone Hives Project. We're talking about a whole network of automated drones for national security. I mean, this is not some small pilot program. This is a huge vote of confidence from a major defense player. And if that wasn't enough, there was more. The company also announced it had locked in around $10 million in new orders for its autonomous systems. This was crucial because it showed all this hype was backed by real money, real business, exactly what investors needed to see.
So you might be asking yourself, how did a company that seemed like a simple holding company suddenly start landing these huge defense contracts? Well, it turns out Ondas has been quietly going through a massive transformation behind the scenes. And you don't have to take my word for it. The CEO, Eric Brock, put it perfectly himself. He basically said, look, we are now a scaled global defense and security technology platform. They don't see themselves as just a holding company anymore. They've rebranded and are squarely in the defense tech game. And this wasn't just some press release. They made real moves to back it up. They officially changed their name to Ondas Inc. They moved their headquarters to a tech hub in Florida. And this is the key part. They bought the very companies, the robotics and drone specialists that made a deal like the Drone Hives Project even possible. They are going all in on autonomous systems. But, and there's always a but, right? Even with these exciting new contracts and this new identity, the financial picture under the hood is, well, it's complicated. You can think of it like a brand new, powerful ship that's still trying to navigate some really choppy seas. This table lays it all out perfectly. On the one hand, their strengths are solid. They have strong liquidity, meaning they have cash. Over $500 million in assets, they are not about to go broke tomorrow. But then you look at the challenges, and they're just as stark. The company isn't profitable yet. They've got negative margins and negative cash flow. In short, they have the fuel to keep the engines running, but they're burning through it fast without turning a profit. At least, not yet. So you take all of this, the scary filing, the incredible contract win, the big strategy shift, and these mixed financials, and it all comes down to one single decisive moment for the company's future. I mean, look at this timeline. It has been a total whirlwind of a month. They kick it off with the rebrand, then the stock dips because of that filing, then it absolutely skyrockets on the Drone Hives news, and it all leads up to this one date, January 16th. That's their investor day. That's when they have to finally lay out their strategic roadmap for everyone.
And that leaves us with the million-dollar question, doesn't it? They've clearly shown they can win major game-changing contracts, no doubt about it. But those financial hurdles are still there. So, will their plan for 2026 be convincing enough to prove this roller coaster is finally on a sustainable climb? Or is more turbulence ahead? I guess we're all going to find out on January 16th.